Hello. You know how your mom gets in bed with you and Sarah and Aslan sometimes and tells you a story? Well, my mom used to do that too. She would get in bed with me and my brother and sisters and tell us her favorite stories. And she liked Greek myths. And so she told us a lot of stories about Greek myths. And my favorite one, the one I remember the best, was about Theseus. And Theseus was a little prince, that's a boy, a prince who lived in a country called Greece a long, long time ago and far, far away. Well, Greece was at war with a country, an island called Crete. And Crete was a very ferocious, very, very ferocious country because they had a monster. They had a monster called a Minotaur. Can you say Minotaur? Minotaur. The Minotaur was part monster and part man. He had the head of a bull and the tail of a bull, and he lived in the bottom of a maze, a labyrinth. A labyrinth is a place where you can't find your way back out. For example, if you went into the labyrinth, into the maze, there might be a hallway, and you go down the hallway, and there'd be doors on the left and doors on the right, and you might open one door, and there'd be nothing there but a wall, and you might open another door, and there'd be a stairway. You go down the stairway, and then there's another long hall, and you open a door, and then there's another long hall, and you turn left, and you turn right, and there's a stairway going up. You go up, and there's a door with a brick wall behind it. You know, pretty soon you would get really, really lost, and you would not be able to find your way out. And that is a maze. Well, the Minotaur lived at the very center of the maze, so he could never find his way out. And they fed him the boys and girls from the countries that they won the war with. So here we are in Greece, and Theseus, every year, 7 boys and 7 girls are sent off to the island of Crete as a ransom for the war that Greece had lost. And one year, Theseus was selected to go. And of course, his father was crying, but nevertheless, Theseus was a brave boy, and he got on the ship with the other boys and girls, and he sailed off to the island of Crete to get eaten by the Minotaur. Well, when they got to the island of Crete, there was the king's daughter, Ariadne. That's a funny name, Ariadne. Beautiful young girl, Ariadne. She took one look at Theseus and she fell in love with him. And she said to herself, I cannot let Theseus get into the maze and die. So while nobody was looking, she got a sword and she gave it to him. She said, with this sword, you can kill the Minotaur. And she also gave him a roll of wool. She gave him a roll of wool, and she said, tie one end of this to the beginning of the maze and let the wool out as you walk into the maze, and that way you'll always be able to find your way back. Sure enough, Theseus and the other boys and girls got it dumped into the maze to be the dinner for the Minotaur, but with his sword, he killed that ferocious Minotaur with no trouble at all. And then, with all the boys and girls following behind, he took the ball of twine and wound it around and around until he found his way back out of the maze. And Ariadne was so happy to see him that they got married and lived happily ever after. So, that's the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.